I finally have a living room again, and
Yeah.
I've been watching stuff late at night. I watched a little Young Justice season 3
Oh shit!
On a TV?
on a television. Yeah,
Wow.
not curled up in my bed on my phone like I'm the dope vaporwave beats to study to girl.
Oh, I would love to listen to a lo-fi channel that's just you, like
In your bed.
like painting minifigs or like writing character sheets.
Cross-legged, Houdini laying at the foot of the bed, sorting through magic cards. The music's playing. Snow outside the window. That's Kevin's room.
The loop is like me with like giant stacks of magic cards, and I'm like just sifting through each one of them, being like, lapse of certainty. I mean, a counterspell in white. I could definitely include that.
I could go for this.
Paul, what would your lo-fi screen be?
Oh my god, I don't know. I don't have anything I like enough to cement into
I want to say yours is bonsai, just because you have the aesthetic now.
I love that.
Oh, okay,
like
like clipping a little tree, just like clipping away at it, brushing it off a little bit.
Oh yeah. You're just like looking at it, doing a little snip, and then like turning it a little bit, and that's the loop.
And then rake the dirt, and then turn it, snip, turn it, rake.
All three of your cats like perched at perfect levels, watching you intently do this. Yep.
And I have Chad's. Chad's is middle of his living room, laid on the floor on his back as dogs circle and run and jump over him, and he giggles.
I thought you were going to say I'm on my back because I have back issues, and I'm just like, I need to stretch.
Every now and then Laszlo hits you, and you go, my sciatica, and then you're good. No,
he hopped on my dick again. Oh no,
it's happy. It's not. There's no sciatica, no dick hops. All canine joy.
Does Laszlo not know to avoid the peen?
Did any of your pets ever know not to avoid?
No.
Like all of my pets just with abandon are like, cool. That's where when I'm jumping onto the couch, that's where I go, right straight for the dick.
Leica has like a heat sensor. He's like a homing missile. He's like, I will jump to the hottest point on this man's body. It's his dick.
It's really an emotionally complex moment because you're feeling pain of ow my balls, but then you're also like, oh, animal friend.
My pet loves me.
Exact same instant.
Hootie is not a lap cat. She will hang out next to me, but not on top of me. So we haven't run into that particular issue yet.
So that's why, you have not had the dick hop. But you never know because you moved into a new place. You have a TV now. Houdini's habits could change. I
kind of feel bad that like I'm not being productive in my lo-fi screen.
What are you talking about? That's judging the value of action, and there's no such thing.
Well, I guess I'm just like Kevin is working on Space Kings or building a magic deck. Paul is pruning a beautiful tree, and then
you're just enjoying life. That's way more productive.
In the pit.
Recreation is creation, my friend.
Yeah, baby.
Damn,
we're all passing our precious time on Earth as we please.
Yeah. You're showing people it's important to take time to recover, to enjoy things, to be,
I can't really argue with that.
Be here now, Chad. Be here now.
Are you guys at a certain age where, changing subjects, are you guys getting to a certain age where you get things in the mail, life insurance things?
Oh, yeah. Well, Kevin, moving out, you're gonna exponentially jump into the being capitalismed too.
So,
nice. You're gonna get a ton of ads, and every once in a while you'll be like, "Oh, I kind of did want to get a big pizza." Like a couple of those you'll hit, right?
Mm-hmm. No one depends on me, so it might be a sec before I get
the life insurance,
thing.
Well, yeah, let's make a it's not too late to put a will and testament out.
Sure. Well, I mean, Hootie's gonna get everything, but
yeah, of course.
Her magic decks are trash, so.
You could just throw those in the garbage. No one needs those.
I'm gonna have a much better time playing Houdini than I am gonna be playing your decks, playing against you.
That's for sure.
This might be a comedy graveyard, no pun intended. But I've been just getting more and more letters from prospective life insurance agencies in big official looking envelopes, and I'll be like, oh, something I probably need to fill out so the government doesn't get me.
They give you that. They do not fold the documents. The documents.
No, they don't fold them. It looks very important, and like they're just now like this one today was. I am beseeching you to look at this letter of beautiful Jamie and his family.
Oh God!
And then it's a picture of like. A dad and all his kids and his beautiful wife, and then it's like Jamie died without tragically of an unknown or blank accident, it could happen to you. And I'm just like, I'm so sad now. Like, I'm just like, it's just a real bummer.
Jamie was 1 in 230 million chance of death, and he died, and it could happen to you too.
This is kind of wacky because I just broke out my X-Files DVDs and I watched Clive Bruckman's Final Repose, which is the episode about the life insurance salesman who can see the future.
Oh boy.
And he's miserable. But like, there's a scene where he's like trying to sell somebody an insurance policy, and they're like, we figured we were going to get a boat instead. And he's like, you don't get it, do you, kid? You're killed by a drunk 2 years from now.
So he's a life insurance salesman with a heart that's trying to help people.
Yeah, he legitimately knows when you're going to die, and he's trying to sell you a policy.
Oh my god, the 90s, man. The 90s were sad. They were sad.
I love that idea, though. Yeah.
A superhero bureaucrat.
Boyle. I forget the actor. Something Boyle. Bob Boyle? Tony Boyle?
Laura Flynn.
Laura Flynn. I know Laura Flynn.
Oh, you mean everybody loves Raymond, Dad?
Yeah.
Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle.
Oh my god, he's from Norristown, Pennsylvania, Chad. He's from Philadelphia.
God damn it. How big is the population of Pennsylvania? What, like 1 million people?
I mean, we're a suburb of New York, Chad. So I mean,
okay, but Pennsylvania, like what, like 1 million-ish people?
No.
Is that too much?
Yeah, no, way too little. Pennsylvania's fucking huge. It's huge.
It's huge. It's just every fucking day. That, you know what it is? It's that Adam Driver meme from A Marriage Story. Every day I find out another great man or woman that came from Pennsylvania, and I'm not one of them. And it makes me mad.
I don't know why it makes you so mad.
I want to be part of it. I want to be part of this culture. I want to be part of the good time Pennsylvania gang.
Chad, everybody's a part of Philadelphia. Everybody is.
Sweet.
That's the thing. There's no pretension. You can just be part of Philadelphia. You just come here once. Hey, I live in Philadelphia now. You watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia? You live in Philadelphia now. You're good.
Does that count?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. I've seen like 10 minutes of a Rocky movie, and I usually, I on occasion use the phrase dirt derogatively. So I'm technically from Philadelphia.
And when he was here, everybody said hi to him.
It's true.
That's true. Well, everyone loves Kevin.
That's true. That's very true.
People just want to say hi to me, and that's fine. You're welcome to.
I'd love to be part of. Listen, South Bend. There's no one famous from South Bend. We got like Dean Norris from Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Vivica A. Fox,
Mm-hmm.
who is in more bad movies than good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it.
See, here's the thing. Okay, Pennsylvania, 12 million. Indiana, 6.7. You're not that far behind in terms of pop.
Yeah, but it's what we got. I don't know.
Chad, maybe someone you've yet to know, you've yet to meet. Maybe someone's from Indiana. They're going to surprise you, you know? You never know.
Sure. You never know.
Yeah.
The last! I knew you were the last!
All right, there's no easy way to do this. Let's talk about the last Goosebumps book we'll ever read.
The last.
Damn.
I've
been mentally preparing myself, but that just still hit me, man. I don't know.
That's it. This is it. This is the last one. Deep Trouble Part 2. We're ending on a wet fart of a book.
I
mean,
I'll say this about it. It's not boring.
No.
Is it not boring?
It things keep happening.
Yeah. And the problem is it starts out making you think it's going to be boring, and then it quickly shifts into, I don't know, a cartoon, basically. Listen, the family is pulled by a giant dolphin on a raft at some point. This is a cartoon.
This is like the Oblivion of Goosebumps books, because the side quests are deep. The side quests are deep, and the main quest can be accomplished in 15 minutes.
Yo, did you do that side quest where you go and fight a giant crab on a deserted island? Yeah, that side quest is crazy.
They don't even fight it. They're just menaced by it. And the crab like gets bored and walks away.
Crab just clips its claws out of
Yeah. they hide in stealth and pass the stealth check, and the crab decides to leave.
I didn't think it was see, it's funny, you guys are going to Oblivion. I didn't think of, as soon as it happened, I was like, yo, is this some Dark Tower stuff? You guys read the Dark Tower?
Nope.
I've read like the first 3, and then I fell off.
Do you remember there's like these lobster things, and they're like, data chump? Dumba chump? Data check? And they go like click, 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 and they just like...
No.
I think they eat Roland's fingers.
Is that what chops his hand off and he gets all... he has to get antibiotics? They have to go to New York and get antibiotics?
Yeah, they have to go through a portal to New York. Man, those books are wild.
It's fucking wild, yeah.
Like, these like lobster things come out of the water, and as soon as that happened in this book, I'm like, fucking Dark Tower, it's happening! I don't know why.
It's a wild time, Kevin. You got to experience it.
I wish I read Dark Tower instead of this book. I'm sorry. I'm going to come down hard on this book.
It's okay.
I did not have a great time reading
That's
it.
okay. Listen. We
Let's
read
talk about it.
We read today Deep Trouble 2. So we sort of touched on this book because we went during Deep Trouble 1. I went to watch the episode and bypass reading the book. Turns out I watched the Deep Trouble 2 adaptation, which is referred to as Deep Trouble 1. It's a whole Final Fantasy VI situation that we have going on there.
Yeah.
And that was even probably more even like remake, because I think the show wasn't even barely like the plot, right?
No, I don't think so. I made a note while reading this. I do not remember any of this from the show.
This one's unfilmable. Like
it would be very expensive.
It's entirely unfilmable. This would be Jaws 3D level filmable.
You need Peter Jackson doing some perspective effects for this to work out.
Yes. We need some fucking forced perspective for this one.
It's good that you're using, because there's a lot of Kong Skull Island stuff going on in this one. Let's lay out this is pretty much a plot that reminds me of, like, I'm going to coin the term, an amusement park ride plot, where just the characters just settle down, and they're just going to be kind of pulled from scene to scene.
This one's Martin Scorsese's experience at a Marvel movie plot.
So our main character is William Deep Jr. or Billy.
He's officially he's past fully grown child into teenhood.
Wait, what was the term we got called on? I think I called on the last episode as a fully grown child.
I referred to one of the characters as a fully grown child, and I was asked to explain what that meant. And a fully grown child would be a 12-year-old child.
I did like the line where he says, "I'm not 12 anymore. I'm 13." Which is such a 13-year-old vibe.
Billy Deep Jr. is so egotistical in this book. He comes in, and he's doing it. I appreciate he did a pretty decent recap of the first book. It's a good way to also fill a chapter.
Yep.
Just telling about what's going on. And he's like, last year we came out here with our uncle and we discovered mermaids. No one believed me, but I'm over mermaids now.
Yeah.
I'm past that. I'm going to find a new thing. I'm like, dude, go back to the fucking mermaids. It's a big deal. Have a mermaid wife.
So as someone who didn't read Deep Trouble 1, I was like, these aren't going to matter, right? Like, the mermaid thing is pretty much inconsequential in this. Was Billy Deep Jr. such like a beloved character that they needed to return to this specific makeup?
Why did we come back to this story?
Everyone loves RL's like, I already came up with a name for an aquatic marine scientist named Dr. Deep. I'm not doing a new name.
Someone had the data and convinced him this had to happen.
Like, if you're gonna name a character after part of the title of your book, why couldn't he be Billy Trouble? And then you have Dr. Trouble.
Dr. T.
Yeah, Dr. T.
I hated that the kid called his uncle Dr. D. It's your last name, dude.
What the fuck was that about? They're related to him, and they keep calling him Dr. D all the time.
Just call him Uncle Doctor.
Uncle Dr. D.
Uncle Doctor would be adorable, and I'd be much more endeared to these characters just on that alone, Kevin.
That'd be so Johnny Quest. We're just like, it's like, what's happening, Uncle Doctor?
Beyond the fact that Billy Deep Jr. is the most porn star name I've ever heard. This book is fucking like filthy sick. There's just a lot of weird fetish stuff in this book.
Lot of frothing white foam and viscous white slime. Like
we got vore.
There's vore.
We got vore.
We got imaginary tickling role play.
Yes,
in the very beginning of this
we
book.
have bondage octopus leading into tickling octopus.
I gotta be honest. I usually take copious notes when I read. threw my notebook halfway through this. I'm like, I get it. It's going to be a different sea creature every 10 pages.
Yes.
Or something
I
like
also
that.
abandoned my notes.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I took copious notes. We're good.
Good. It's weird how like it starts with like the most threatening giant sea monster. So there's no mystery or really horror anywhere in here.
No, it's pure comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. This one's a laugh riot.
This is a laugh riot. Besides the child abuse and the shooting spear guns at children as well.
Yeah. So we got Billy, we got his sister Sheena, who's no nonsense. I kind of like Sheena. She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we have Dr. D, who's their uncle, and they're staying with him on his boat.
Cassandra.
Sure. It's like, I guess it doesn't really inspire science or, vision or discovery, but Cassandra's fine.
What if the boat was called the Deep Trouble? Like,
I know, you can have
that's
it.
Great.
You can have it, and you can have the name be cool. And it could be the Deep Trouble because he's Dr. Trouble.
Yeah.
Fuck, oh my god.
Well, also Deep Trouble would be like, well, that's what science is. It's about getting messy, We stick our head in the water and get deep in there.
Elbows deep into science, yep.
Yeah. Like, you can have Billy say, we're in some deep trouble now, aren't we, Dr. Trouble? We're not in deep trouble yet, Billy. Look, the deep trouble is on the horizon.
Do you think Dr. Deep makes them call him doctor every time, and that's why?
He didn't go to 8 years of marine biologist school. Not to be called Dr. Trouble. I guess maybe 12 years of marine biology school.
Don't you dare hug me, Billy. I am a doctor, goddammit.
Doctors only hug other doctors.
I did kind of picture Dr. Venture as Dr.
Yeah.
as Dr. Deep.
He had some Dr. Venture energy in his, like, he did not give a shit about these kids in the league. He was so wrapped up in his science that, like, for instance, we start off with this, we'll go through the details, but we start off with this octopus attack, fake out, unreliable narrator bullshit, classic unreliable narrator bullshit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then we go into the shark attack when an actual shark shows up.
Yeah.
And also, hold on before the shark. I just need to really clarify the octopus one, because that one was weird.
Yeah, it starts out, he's snorkeling, beautiful stuff's happening around him, and then a purple octopus shows up, starts choking him, starts squeezing him. He starts tickling its belly because that works on an octopus, and the octopus giggles and lets him go, and it was his sister somehow?
Yeah.
I don't really know
and
what...
then Sheena's like, what were you pretending to be this time? And he's like, oh, yeah. I was like, wait, hold it. It seemed like this was Billy's idea, and I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever. It's fine. He's the prankster. We all hate the prankster in all of these books, right?
Oh, yeah. Pranks are important because they have a bit of a prank war going on.
Right. And I don't believe it's an actual prank war. I think it's a prank assault on Billy's side, which sometimes Sheena chooses to respond to.
Yeah.
And then, which very proportionally, and Billy decides to blow it out of proportion further each time.
Yeah. I would argue, and I'm also like, I felt like as we're reading through, it's like, man, how fucking poetic that after how good the Haunted School was, we're ending Goosebumps with just this non-stop prank fest. Like, the first part of this book is just over and over, like, oh, we thought there was a head in my aquarium. Oh, it was a doll's head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of these, right?
Yep.
Just relentless prank fake outs.
Mm-hmm.
But how kind of fitting for this podcast.
Yes.
For us to have the book where I think the prank maybe pays off in the end.
Yes.
Kind of.
Sort of.
Did either of you track that the shark had glassy black eyes like a doll's eye?
Did it say it? I didn't read. I did not catch that. I did totally miss that.
I was more focused on when before the shark attacks. I really liked this page I had grabbed. That was Billy's like set up his next prank. He's like, I went down to the rec room and I grabbed a gray square pillow. You guessed it. I was going to pretend to be a shark. He's like really proud of it. And he's like, don't worry, reader. You're already ahead of me, which means this joke is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why we went like descending levels of giant monster scariness. Like, giant shark is clearly the fucking scariest thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, You know what, Kevin? I would normally agree with that, but actual madman with spear gun is pretty terrifying.
But was he a threat, though? Was he a threat?
I mean, he killed 2 guys, 2 grown men.
Yeah, but he rolled like a nat 1 on that first spear gun attack.
That's
like,
true.
Even Dr. D was like, oh, that really should have hit me, and it didn't. Okay,
It's
bye.
Weird. The spear kind of faded away.
Dr. D gave up on life, like, temporarily.
Also, and this is jumping ahead, but like, if you've got a spear gun and the people you're trying to kill are escaping on an inflatable bright orange life raft,
Massive target.
seems to me like you should aim for the raft.
That's a good point, Kevin. This is also to consider. This is a automatically magically reloading spear gun. Where
Oh yes, I noticed that too.
After the spear is fired,
I noticed that too.
Dr. Riddle, what's his name? Dr.
Ritter.
So
here's what I have to say. One thing about the beginning before we get too deep in.
Yes.
It's gonna happen a lot, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck the whole episode. Kevin, you said, I don't know that any of this story plays into this. Here's what the story does do to play into from the first one that plays into this one. Dr. D did learn. Dr. Deep, I refuse to call him Dr. D out of the context of a quote. Dr. Deep did see the mermaids that Billy Deep discovered, so Dr. Deep believes the kids, which I think is a huge change in Goosebumps books, is that he believes the kids. Now, they see the double-sized shark. They see the massive fucking shark, right? It gets away before Dr. Deep can see it, but they go, But he doesn't believe them at first, but they convince him. They're like, no, seriously, we saw this thing because he saw the mermaid. He believes them, but then he just chooses to move past the giant shark and take them down to show him his far more important science work that he's doing.
I think the big prank energy works against them, because like, yeah, they saw mermaids a year ago, but these 2 shits have been pranking each other and him.
That's
for
true.
Months now.
That's true.
So
he's a little worn out.
He might not be so willing to believe that they're giants in the deep.
That these pranking shits. Yep. Okay. Fair.
Yeah, that's
fair.
a really good point, though, Paul. Like he is the most appealing part, I think, of any of these Goosebumps sequels should be we can move past the entire first book's like begging parents to listen. Right. It now the fun in game. I mean, which I guess kind of happens like once. What is the inciting incident? Not the inciting incident. The smoking snail that gets Dr. Deep on board.
I believe it is the snail. It has to be the snail, right?
Yeah. Dr. Deep gives. He shows Sheena and Billy Deep Jr.
Yep.
Is like, I guess his experiment is I've just been collecting plankton. No other experiments explained other than that's what they're just doing out here. He's like, here, give this jar to your own fish in your room, including 2 goldfish and an unmentioned snail.
I feel like they mentioned the snail.
Maybe they mentioned it, I just missed it. But I think like just kind of randomly after the shark attack is them going out swimming.
Yep. And then jellyfish attack.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. The jellyfish attack is huge.
That's horrifying.
Yeah. Like up until this point, Billy is a total jerk. And Sheena has only proven to be more dependable, more curious, more cautious, better student, and also better at pranking.
Better pranks.
Better
for
pranker.
Sure.
So overall, top tier kid, F tier kid for Billy at this point. But we have to have whiplash from this sequence during the jellyfish because suddenly Billy becomes Billy dependable.
Yeah, he does save his sister from the jellyfish. It's not a clean save, but he gets there. He breaks her out of jellyfish suffocation.
He does. Chad, please break the scene down, Chad, because I feel like you really love this scene.
Yeah, Chad, I associate this scene with you, so I'm not going to steal it from you.
No, there's no way.
This is all you, buddy.
No way I could.
Yeah.
I both want to, like, own it and distance myself. But I did send a message, I think, to you guys before. I was like, we need to talk about the jellyfish scene for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It was just... I think because there had been so many other fake outs, that one hit a little bit
It's the first real moment for sure. Like the
first real moment. You're sure there was a big shark, but it was so quick that it didn't really register as a scare moment for me.
Exactly. For all we know, the kids are lying to us because they've already proven to be unreliable narrators to us.
Yeah, man. I wish I could just send a message to RL in the past, like, "Hey, dude, if everything's a prank fake out, I'm not really invested." Right. But Sheena just is in a way that could be very scary. Is I guess she's just looking head down in the water, and and Billy Deep is like, I'm trying to shout, but you can't shout underwater. I'm like, good point, Billy. Really good point.
Unless you're that kid who invented the underwater walkie-talkies, which is a real thing that happened on Nickelodeon.
I do remember it. Was that on like not Figure It Out or whatever that was? Like,
it might have been a Figure It Out.
Yeah. The kid invented underwater walkie-talkies. Yeah.
I think there was just like an interstitial, like a Nickelodeon interstitial, and they're like, look at this fucking kid who's better than you. He invented some shit.
He gets moon shoes too. You'll never get moon shoes.
Damn.
I exceeded the weight limit for
They gave him a Chad, I never knew that about you. That's the saddest fact I've ever heard about you.
Wait, Chad, did you find that out through like an event where you put moon shoes on and just like snapped through them?
No, that would be my darkest memory of all time.
I just want to picture like young Chad taking like a bounce or two, being like, "This is it. This is freedom. This is what I wanted. I'm finally free.
Finally, big boy gonna fly." No,
Chad, I know you played football and you were a strapping man for sure. So do not take this in the wrong way, but the stories you tell of your childhood make me feel like you were Bobby Hill, and I love you even more for it.
Thank you. Mix Bobby Hill with the body of Mikey from Recess.
Okay. Okay. Yep. You're a tall kid. You're a tall man.
I was a big boy.
You still are. You're still a tall man.
I'm still of the same size.
We should watch a Recess episode for this show.
Yes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Done with that.
What else are we gonna do? Goosebumps is over. There's no more.
He stopped making them. He said,
I need to clarify once again, we are not shutting the podcast down. There'll be more episodes. We have more content planned.
It's the last day of Goosebumps. I'm putting all the chairs on top of the desks so the janitors can come in. We're playing Hangman or Jeopardy or some shit. The teacher's smoking in the hallway. It's over.
But we're going to come back and be like 14-year-old boys. And we'll be wiser and stronger. And
yes.
We'll get to read Fear Street in Goosebumps 2000.
We'll each have a pube.
We'll have one pube and we'll pass it around between the three of us like the Fates from Greek mythology.
The pube of our lives. Which fate shall cut short the pube of our life?
Yeah.
So Sheena's swimming face down in the water, not paying attention. And even at the time of this, Billy Deep's like, she's always so focused. That's why she gets such good grades. Like, even as she's swimming into death, he's complimenting her.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. He realizes he's the lesser child, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. In this moment, and flashes of both their lives go before him, and he's like, she was the better child.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Sheena just kind of swims straight into a big open pink blob.
Yep.
I think it was pretty obvious what it was at that point, but it takes a whole nother chapter of him getting up to it to realize, oh my god, it's a giant jellyfish, and Sheena is inside the jellyfish.
I was like, it was kind of unclear in the text. I was like, starfish maybe?
Yeah.
It was really flowery with the jellyfish language.
Right. It was flowery and the anatomy of a jellyfish.
Yes.
Usually the hole's on the bottom, so you'd have to swim up like a diving bell into a jellyfish, I feel like, to truly get sucked inside of it. Yeah. In my mind,
I was picturing it comically tilting 90 degrees and Sheena just going straight in like a WarioWare game. I don't know.
That's a great point. I imagined it like the lip monster from Dragon Quest.
Yep.
Ooh.
The kisser slug.
Yeah.
That's what I was picturing in my mind the whole time.
See, I associate jellyfish with stinging, and I was like, that's clearly not what they're going for here. So I didn't latch on to jellyfish right away, but now in my head, they're just the ones from SpongeBob.
Yeah, the cartoon. It's easier for me to picture the cartoonish version of a jellyfish than the actual nightmares that like Man-O-Wars are.
Yeah,
Right.
this one has like folds and stuff, and like
Yeah, what was that thing about? It was very like I'm sorry to keep putting this filter on. It was very fallopian, y'all. Like there was just a lot of like pink folds.
Fallopian, y'all.
Are you going for Yannick on this one?
Wait, what do you mean by Yannick?
Yannick is vagina shaped, like phallic is penis shaped.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, thank you for the learning.
Literally, Kevin was like, is that like a Sonic character? Is that like is Yannick?
Yannick the Hedgehog?
Like, is Yannick the Hedgehog another? It's a more sensual sapphic hedgehog.
Yeah.
Sapphic the Hedgehog.
Sapphic the Hedgehog is pretty good.
Yeah, but the big fleshy engulfing thing reverse births Sheena into it, and then Billy Deep Williams has to go save his sister.
Billy Deep's big plan.
Billy Deep
First
Williams.
is just
Are we just gonna hold on? We cannot simply skate by Billy Deep Williams, which is officially the canon name for this character now. RL will have to rewrite this book.
I mean, every time you guys have said Billy Deep, I've added the Williams in my head after.
Yes, so totally, yeah. Billy D. Williams jumped into the water and went straight up that jellyfish's vagina.
Yeah. Oh, he dove into it like an Olympic diver, straight in, with zero abandon, or with full abandon, went straight in, and reaches in. Grabs his sister, they for about a little bit for tension's sake. And I gotta say, the scene worked for me because it was gross, first off, gross out, and then claustrophobia a bit.
Yeah, claustrophobia and suffocation, like the suffocation thing.
Underwater,
Don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, oh, the Weird Al song, but that's he just does that in the polka of White Boy Pain.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I that is wonderful. I've never heard that polka.
Oh, the Weird Al polkas are great.
That's a top tier Weird Al polka.
Yeah, the polkas were the highlight of everyone, weren't they?
But then a second jellyfish enters the mix.
Yeah, well, they don't ever in this book. I don't know if they actually defeat any of the creatures themselves.
No,
which maybe adds to the horror. Maybe you could argue that is the right way for your protagonist to feel at odds. Mm-hmm. But Billy's big plan, which I thought was stupid, was I must also go into the jellyfish.
Yeah, he did, again, with abandon, he just threw his entire body there. I was imagining that he had some sort of, like, I don't know, kept his flipper in the mouth, which I was imagining there was a mouth. There's no mouth. I don't know what, out of the opening, I don't know. He did something. And then, yeah, I was reading it as he was, like, holding some form of himself outside of this thing, but I don't know how he was doing it.
I read it as a kid going, I want to go in there too. And then just
back to the womb for me.
Back to the womb. I'll be reborn and be Billy Deep the Third.
Fuck.
But Kevin, you're right. Yeah, they kind of just get spit out.
Yeah.
Because, and as they swim away, realize that another jellyfish wanted to eat that jellyfish. And then those two just fold over each other. Just full on scissoring.
They're jabbing and blob banging and doing all kinds of stuff, and the water's going nuts.
Love in This Club starts playing, like, from beneath the waves, and they're like, we gotta get out of here.
We gotta find a room. At this point, I was like, get these kids a fucking Fun Saver camera, because these kids need to be taking pictures of these wonderful creatures they're finding.
I mean, I think this is one of the rare examples where a camera does nothing to prove their case, because they'll just be like, oh, it's just close up to the camera.
Oh,
like,
you gotta hold up a banana for scale.
Yeah.
Banana for scale. Well, you know the kids had their banana because they need their potassium for all the swimming they're doing.
They're gonna get scramby leggy if they don't have their potassium.
They're low in TAS.
They get back onto the boat and we meet. Oh, we have some more hijinks because Uncle Father Doctor is caught under a giant snail. And
they get back. They're like, we gotta tell Uncle Father Doctor about what just happened. And then it just goes right into, again, like a Cronenberg-esque horror appears in the hallway.
When the snail started screaming, like, I was like, that's fun, but I know this can't last, and it wasn't the snail actually screaming. I feel like part of my frustration with this book is that it feels like a choose-your-own-adventure Goosebumps book, where the choices have been made for you.
Yes.
Like, there are a lot of points in here that I feel like are branching opportunities, like, save Sheena, or don't save Sheena, or tell the truth to the evil doctor, or lie to the evil doctor.
Right.
Choose to tell the truth randomly after 5 other opportunities to lie. Yeah, you're right. It is very it's very on rails, even though things keep happening. Like I think the snail is probably the second scariest part of the book for me.
Right.
The first one being the jellyfish, because claustrophobia, smothering, that sort of thing. It is described for quite a while that there is just a big giant snail in the hallway of the ship. A fake out that maybe the snail is talking, which I was like, oh, sign me the fuck up. Let's go.
Right.
No, it's just that our uncle doctor is underneath the snail being smothered. I think, quote, choking on slime.
Which is horrific. That's horrific.
Yeah. And again, because of course it is, the slime is described as white and viscous, because of course, why wouldn't it be?
It must be snail bukkake. It has to be.
I also just love the image that while this was happening, the snail is just sitting there emotionlessly on top of him like a big dog.
Just blinking.
They said the snail had sad eyes, which I find hilarious. Like, oh no, I'm killing him. Oh.
You are, I don't know why I exist and why I'm so big. I just wanted to say hi.
Yeah. Oh, he's a big snail that thinks he's a small snail. That's why he tries to get up on
Oh no. Oh my god, this is the the dog.
It's Marmaduke.
This is the Marmaduke.
Oh,
this is the Marmaduke of
snail. I love him.
They managed to karate the snail off of Uncle Father.
But then the entire ship starts shaking and rocking. Because
oh no, my goldfish! We better kill them by throwing freshwater fish into the salt water.
They knowingly murder these two extremely large goldfish by throwing them into salt water.
Yeah,
I loved that Dr. D was like, yep, well, we gotta do what it takes, he said grimly, which I gotta think, if you're a marine biologist, this is like crushing you. This this is breaking the Hippocratic oath of marine biologists, which is tossing a freshwater fish into salt water.
Dr. Deep cares more about these fish than these children because, and this can be shown by when the two kids come in and say, massive shark tried to eat us. He's like, yeah, kids, check out this fish. It's really big, right? Okay, go ahead and go back out swimming. I'm going to keep looking at this fish because I love it more than you. And that's like his entire MO.
Oh, can we talk about that tiny detail in the lab where there's
big minnow?
Big minnow. I just thought it was so funny the way he discovers. He's like, there's a big 4-foot silver fish. He's like, I don't know what this is. I don't recognize it anywhere. And Billy opens up the book and he's like, Billy, not in that part of the book. That part of the book is for small fish.
Mm-hmm.
But why would they arrange it? Like,
the book is organized by size. It's really fucking funny to me.
Complete insanity. Yeah. So, can we talk briefly about the Tim Jacobus cover of this one with just like the weird bulldog fish on the front of it?
Oh, the dire goldfish?
Yeah.
Dire goldfish.
It's like, ugly fish with no sense of scale to it.
It's got fangs, Kevin, and that's scary.
Ooh.
I was kind of one of those covers of doesn't actually ever really happen in the book.
Right, right.
The goldfish are harmless. They really just seem to want to live.
Mm-hmm.
They can't help that they suddenly grew on. Have we said that they grew on mutated plankton or like?
Yeah. The reason why things grow big is because there's a special plankton that makes them big. So fun, so great, love it.
That's what we find out. That's what we find out, and it's
That's not even the stupidest thing the plankton does.
No. It gets
this plankton is nuts.
It gets way better. They deduced this on their own, right? So they're like, "Oh, it must be the plankton because I fed it to the fish in my room and all this stuff." They're figuring it out. They go up to the top of suddenly after they finally remove the fish by throwing them into the salt water, they go back down to get the snail out, and they hear a noise. It's people walking on the ship. They come upstairs. It's three mysterious men that they don't know. Mel, something else, and Dr. Ritter.
Speaking of X-Files, by the way, I thought these dudes were a full-on cameo of the lone gunman for a second, the way they were described.
Oh, really?
I was just like, oh shit, we're getting home invaded. Like Ritter's got goons.
Yeah, this went from Cronenberg to Michael Haneke real quick. They go up, and then there's a great scene where Dr. Deep is trying to get Billy to not tell them the information that they know about the things. And let's remember, we're talking 13-year-old boy, not fully grown yet, fully grown doctor. And
wait, hold on, we're saying not fully grown? We say he's a fully grown child.
He's a fully grown child. Now he has become he's become a minimally grown teen at this point.
Yeah, almost got you there, Paul. Gotcha.
Yeah, minimally grown teen. And so he's he's pushing maybe 5'2", 5'3" at this point.
He's probably benching 180.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's benching 180. But Dr. Deep is jamming him in the rib cage subtly. This man is bent over, hitting his nephew in the rib cage over and over again multiple times to try and stop Billy Deep Williams from spilling the beans.
Well, Uncle Cool Doctor is basically like doing a fucking scientist wizard duel with Dr. Ritter. being like, tell me your secrets and I shall tell you mine.
Right.
It's a nice lab you have here. What experiments are you doing? I don't know. What experiments are you doing?
It's big Venture Bros energy here of two evil scientists meeting up.
Yeah, and Billy Deep Williams is like, hey, why don't I tell you everything because you seem like an authority figure and I got a vent right now because I've had a day.
I've seen some shit.
And then the violence happens.
Well, again, I think there's at least 5 elbows in the ribs, and Billy clocks like, Uncle doesn't want me to say, and then he just blurts out, I had enough. I just wanted to share. Like, it was just,
and I love that he shares it. He shares it, right? This scene was astounding to me. He shares it. Well, and Dr. before Billy says anything, says, "Have you seen anything strange?" Very leading question wise. Billy finally reveals it. Dr. Deep and Sheena both say he's lying. He's a big liar. He's the biggest liar that ever existed. We fucking hate this kid. They're throwing Billy under the bus as hard as they can, and then a fucking giant snail comes and just waltzes into the scene.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Did I miss that part? Because I remember going like the snail never came back.
No, it was there. It was at the end. I think it like fucks off by the end of the book. Like we never hear from it again after this. But
I was waiting for the snail to have a hero moment of like at the very end, like, oh, they forgot about the snail. But instead, what gets them out of that main heist, I think, right, is that the seagulls?
Yeah. So they're captured. They're bound and gagged. They're brought aboard Dr. Ritter's ship, which I don't think has a name.
No, it should have. That makes him really evil.
Yeah,
the fact that he does have a name for it.
That could have been the Deep Trouble. Any of them could have been the Deep Trouble.
All right. When we hit a certain Patreon tier, the three of us will buy a boat together and we'll call it the Deep Trouble.
Yes.
Right?
We'll buy a pontoon boat that barely moves.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We'll have it called the Deep Trouble.
The least mechanical boat that we can buy, we will buy.
Well, maybe a kayak. Maybe we'll start small.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're taken aboard the nameless Dr. Ritter ship.
This is an abusive sequence. They're very rough. They say the famous like abusive line, which is the kid is being hurt. And they say this in movies all the time when it's a really bad, scary person.
Yeah.
Shut up before I really hurt you. And which is the scariest evil person line you can say to somebody. And then there's straight up murder implications over and over again.
But these are Union goons, and they deserve a lunch break.
Yep.
They deserve. I thought that was such the funniest part of the book of them going,
Time for lunch.
Time for lunch. And then Billy deep going, I could hear the sounds of plates and dishes clattering upstairs. They were like, I was like, yeah, no, they're making a little meal together. That's kind of cute.
Uh-huh.
And then later, like, you see, like, sandwiches and a salad.
Yeah, they mentioned it. I loved
it.
And it's funny because, like, I was reading that sequence and I was like, it's fucking weird that he just stopped on the food for a second. He had to show us the food. And I was like, I bet you that was longer. And they were like, listen, you're humanizing these villains too much by talking about what they're eating. You need to really keep this curt and short.
So the original draft was by George R.R. Martin. And originally it was the chapters and chapters describing the sandwiches. And
well, thank God it wasn't Brian Jock, or it would have been an entire book.
I was about to go for that. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate a good Red Wall reference. This scene is a nothing burger, though. Like, it's cool and it's really funny. I just kept going, like, why did we do this?
Most scenes in this are nothing burgers. Like, the fucking Desert Island side quest is nothing as well. Like,
sure, you can do detours, but usually they should like come away with having learned something or gained anything. But this is just, we're capturing you all, we're bringing you back to our ship. We're going to tie you up. This whole thing about like Billy D going like, I bit him at the right time, so he didn't tighten my ropes as much as I thought. Cool. He gets untied. They immediately just walk back in going, you interrupted my lunch. This sucks. Now we're going to kill you. I'm like, so why do we even do this?
Dude, they could have ended the story when they first came on the boat, because the setup for the ending has already occurred off screen.
They're totally right.
Chad, I think you hit on something back there where, like, these characters never gain anything on the adventure. Like, even in
very rarely
the haunted school, like, he has the lighter from the start.
Mm-hmm,
it's always something that they already did beforehand, or some like weird like minor detail in the beginning that saves them. It's never something they learn along the way or collect along the way or find. Like, if Dr.
Ritter Bitter had at some point been defeated because he was hungry and he didn't have enough to eat that day, like his energy wiped out.
Yes.
He'd be like, only because they interrupted the lunch earlier. Fuck yeah. Like, that would have been paid it off.
If the moral of this was it's important to eat a balanced meal at lunchtime, I would have loved that.
Hey, y'all, for working from home, if you're not working from home, or if you are, make sure you have lunch, and make sure they don't move lunch. Make sure they let you have a lunch break. It's really important.
I don't think they're allowed to do that.
I don't think you're allowed to move lunch.
No. If you're listening to this podcast right now, make yourself a sandwich. You earned it.
Yeah. Have you had a glass of water? Have a glass of water.
Enjoy a Goosebud sandwich with us.
Yeah. Trust us. We're the one parasocial relationship you can trust.
If you have any crab or fish, it would be really nice to do right now because they'll be thematic, and try that if you got
it. Fuck. All right. So
we have like this murder implication sequence. The kids eventually do escape during lunch. Or not during lunch. Sorry. They do. Well, they escape during lunch, are found out, and then are taken to be murdered again. They put the murder that was union mandated, lunch ruined, is now going to happen. So they're standing on the edge, and they see that there's an escape raft. They make a run for it. What causes the distraction? I can't even remember what.
There's a harpoon gun firing at some point.
That's the seagulls,
right?
Yeah,
oh my god, yes! How did I forget
seagulls.
About the giant seagulls?
Yeah, giant seagulls.
They were cool.
Giant seagulls, clawed like talons, swoop down and then just kind of cause some problems. Like,
what?
It's not even a fuck yeah moment where they get eaten or anything.
No, so they have one of the henchmen's arms in a bite. So which is happening in its bone mouth. It's got a man's arm in its bone mouth. Mm-hmm. I am convinced that henchman died there because later on the henchmen are brought up and only one is talked about.
Oh, you think it was implied that I thought it was implied he experimented on him, but yeah.
Well, that was the other one. Yes, it was implied that it wasn't implied. It was stated that he did something to one of them, but the other one's not talked about. Why? Because he died from the giant seagull.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it was the lunch that doomed them. It was the lunch that summoned the seagulls. Because whenever you're having a sandwich,
their food out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, they lured them in. The lunch did do something.
The lunch did something. Holy shit.
This is why you don't work through lunch.
Because giant seagulls will come and fuck your shit up.
Holy crap.
I said the giant shark was the scariest thing. A pair of giant seagulls is legitimately a horrible way to die.
I'm scared of a regular size seagull.
I'm scared of like, you ever see like videos of like pelicans just eating whole other animals in their beaks?
Yeah.
Fucking terrifying.
Birds are scary. I'm sorry, Chad. I know you love birds and like you have like nice little cute birds, but once a bird gets bigger than a basketball, terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm aware that Samson is a tiny little turkey leg, but also he has a beak the size of a quarter that could just pierce all of my flesh.
It is bone. It will go through skin easily. It'll slide through.
Yeah.
They were here before us.
I know. We got to respect them.
Well,
No.
my parents have chickens in their backyard, so I've grown up with dinosaurs my whole life. So
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I know their ways.
We have Jurassic Park at home, Kevin.
Yeah, we have Jurassic Park.
So these big flying dinosaurs are just kind of like biting one guy's arm off and buying time for Dr. D, Billy Deep Williams, and Sheena to run for the inflatable raft. This is the moment we mentioned earlier where I think one of the henchmen fires a spear gun at Dr. D and he crumples.
Did you notice that? So they run and they jump into the boat, and then the beginning of the next chapter is when the spear gun is fired at Dr. Deep, and he crumples, and then Billy has a moment where he's like, "You killed him! You killed my uncle!" And then he gets up. I am positive that previous chapter ended with Dr. Deep getting quote unquote shot, and they were like, that shit's too dark. You cannot end on a chapter where it seems like the uncle father doctor dies.
Oh, if he had died in that scene and it was just Billy and Sheena then on the
I don't think he really died.
on the run.
I don't think he really died. I'm just saying I think the chapter I think there was a point where the chapter ended where he seemingly died, and they withheld that because they were like, no, it's too dark.
I think it's fair. I think if in any story you have a spear gun and at some point no one in your story gets a spear in them, that's a mistake.
Oh yeah. It's Chekhov's spear gun.
Sad, really.
It really is.
Yeah, not even firing the gun. It needs to be. I need to see a spear in a person.
It's just when you see a spear gun, you're like, a certain destiny is about to happen. All right. Well, they get on a raft. This is the dumbest part. I hate.
It's stupid. It's really stupid. They go out. A storm hits. They have to bail the thing out. Boring scene of bailing water out.
They use their shoes to
bail.
Bail
whatever. They fall asleep.
They go to a deserted island. They have no Gilligan's Island-esque adventures.
Nope. They don't meet one monkey that torments them in any way.
I was hoping the island was going to be a giant turtle or something.
Oh my god, that could have been
cool too. But can you imagine Island of Big Monkey?
Oh my god, Monkey Island.
Just like one big monkey just sitting on the island, all put out about it.
What is Kong Skull Island called in your country? Oh no, we call it Island of Big Monkey.
Island of Big Monkey.
Big monkey. He's too big for the island. Like, he has no place to move. Poor little guy.
They land on this beautiful paradise of an island, like rich in coconuts. They have some coconut, and they're like, I never want to eat this again.
Yeah, Sheena says, I never want to eat this again, not even in candy. I'm like, Jesus. Come on, be a little appreciative of the little sustenance you have here, Sheena.
You're alive. Yeah.
They're on that island for 20 fucking minutes, and they're like, fuck coconut. I mean, I get it. I hate coconut. I hate surprise coconut. I'm not a coconut fan. I hate surprise
coconut too, Kevin. I'm with you. Solidarity.
Solidarity. I don't hate it quite enough to, starve to death about it.
Right.
But,
right.
Fishing goes awry when a giant enemy crab with no visible weak point attacks. And it chases the family deep up a tree. Nothing continues to happen for quite some time.
Nothing continues to happen.
They wait it out. The claws is there menacing at them.
The kids do fall out of the tree because the branch breaks, but like we talked about already, giant crab enemies stealth meter has been surpassed. The check is passed, and the crab is walking away. The crack happens. 2 kids fall out of the tree, and it's like, nah, fuck it. And it just goes back into the ocean.
It wasn't even like another creature scared it away or anything. It was just, give up.
I'm done.
Yeah, you're right. The stealth timer had just run out.
Yes.
It went back to monitor and patrol.
It had to return to its AI path.
Yeah, you kited the crab far enough away from its AI path that, like, after a while, it just had to go back.
It simply had to return.
That's a legitimate tactic for some giant crab enemies in Dark Souls. Swear to God.
That's my only tactic with every enemy in Dark Souls, is just hide and wait for them to leave.
It's a stealth game, the Chad.
Yeah.
And then the tide comes in and they lose their escape vehicle, their boat.
It's being pulled. They see it being pulled by the dolphins out in the water, and the dolphins are massive. And they're like, "Oh, dolphins is smart. They'll be our friends." So they go over to it and attempt to diplomatically have the raft released to them. The dolphins say, "Yeet," and then start flying off.
The dolphins say, "Get on, loser, we're going swimming."
Yeah.
They do hop on wisely, and then they're pulled on a fun dolphin ride while Steppenwolf plays, and then they end up at a ship, and it's a misty day out.
Why did this part happen?
I don't know. They needed a chapter break, I guess.
Yeah.
I just feel like RL didn't feel like re-editing the previous chapter. Like he had written 5 pages and went like, it's supposed to be on the other boat. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I really don't know.
They show up and they think it's SS Ritterhouse or whatever Ritter's boat is called. And they're like,
Ritter
oh
House.
No, we're back at Ritter House. No. Oh, wait, no, it's the place we've been staying for months.
It's a very different boat. It's a very different...
We just don't recognize it from this particular angle or whatever. And they get on the boat. They're happy. They're dancing. They're hot dogging. They're high-fiving each other.
Pancakes are on the menu. It's great.
Breakfast for dinner is about to happen.
The ultimate celebration. Anytime I have a near-death experience on an island...
You go for the brekkie dinner.
Oh, yeah. When you clean a lot of snow up, when you almost get in a car accident, when a giant crab tries to eat you, you must have breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, breakfast for dinner is about to be had. Victory high fives are exchanged. They high five for 45 minutes straight. It's insane. They're just standing there on the boat, high fiving after high five. Their hands are bleeding, and they just keep going.
It's honestly impressive how RL used his wordsmithing to use have that many different words for high fiving.
Honestly, this part makes up at least like a quarter of the book just describing the marathon of high fives that are going on.
There's a whole page where it's him just going slap, 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 slap. It's like some House of Leaves shit. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
You have to read it in the mirror. It's wild.
But eventually they just decide they're done, which is the wildest part of the high five thing. And then Dr. Ritter shows up and he's like, aha, I'm going to menace you.
He'd been waiting there the whole time.
Just watching, just looking at him high fiving. Like, I get it, man.
Just polishing the spear gun. Did he have the spear gun again? I'm assuming.
He must have. He either had the spear gun or like he was just so sandwiched up that he could like dunk on any of these fools.
Yeah.
I don't really know. He made a big deal about being like, you guys are hungry and I'm not, therefore I win. Even in a 3-on-1 fight.
But like they were gone for 24 hours?
At least. I think 2 nights. I think 2 nights passed.
They fell asleep at least before they landed at the island.
Yeah.
And then X amount of hours for dolphin travel, fast travel.
And I think they sleep during the dolphin ride.
That means Dr. Ritter Bitter left his blood-covered ship probably with like, maybe he lost it to the seagulls. Actually, would have been a funny detail. It's like, it's not my boat anymore. It's the seagulls' boat now. And it's like, he's just waited at the Cassandra in case they would come back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we wrap this thing up, this boy's on death's door, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're about to flush it.
High tide's coming in.
Yeah. Sun's getting real low. I think we've ignored the most horrible thing that could happen with the plankton. Because what creature is known for eating a shit ton of plankton fucking whales.
Right.
Oh.
Where's the Monstro sequence?
Yeah, like, where is the giant whale?
If you want a vore, go OG vore, Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monstro was the original vore.
Yeah. Respect. Italians invented vore.
We stand a true vore king. Monstro.
Columbus didn't discover shit. Italians invented vore.
I mean, it's not really explained too much other than, Dr. Ritterbitter loves monologuing in this book. He loves the cliche, like, oh, you're curious about my experiment? Let me tell you every step of it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really get too much into what he actually did. Yeah. But he does lay out maybe the most, I don't know, I'm not going to say like endearing antagonist, but like his plan on paper for the first two sentences makes sense. Yes. He wants to make fish big to solve world hunger.
Right. Yeah. He wants to keep it secret, I guess. So he's like, no, I'll fucking kill for this.
Well, he wants the business rights.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
He's an Elon Musk type.
Like, he's a Wayland Yutani Corp.
Yeah.
In the making.
But like Wayland Yutani by way of Gorton's Fisherman.
of Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. Can someone make a logo for Bubba Gump in the Wayland Yutani?
Oh my god.
All right. So he takes the kids and Dr. Uncle below deck, and he's like, I'm going to make you drink the plankton because I have to do tests and I need to get you guys out of the picture. Mm-hmm. And Willy Billy Deep is like, I'll do it because reasons. And he's like, okay, choose your bottle. And he's like, so this is going to make me giant, right? No, you idiot. When humans drink the plankton, they turn into fish.
Instantly.
Not even fish monsters, which I thought would at least be interesting.
They turn into normal-sized fish.
Yeah,
Maybe big fish? No, they were just like big normal fish.
Yeah, forever.
That's forever. Important. It's very important that it's forever.
Not a temporary fish.
It's also a non-scientific way of like, you've done this for a day, you do not know what all the side effects are at all.
Yeah, what's your sample size here, Dr. Ritter?
He says, as a matter of science, you will not get into human heaven. You will have to go.
Remember,
God will recognize you now as a fish, and he'll send you to fish hell.
Remember, Jesus hates cloning, except when you clone fish. He did it himself. Because he said that all fish go to hell.
You know how Jesus was able to split and make 7 loaves of fish into like infinite fish? It's because fish don't have souls.
You know why the symbol for Christianity is a fish? Spite.
It's the symbol we put on the door. It means it's basically no dogs allowed for fish.
Jesus Christ, what a crossover reference.
So he drinks the sludge, and right away I was like, if he really drank the plankton, RL would not hesitate to put a sour taste in there.
Right.
Good thinking, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just makes sense. So nothing happens to him, so that prompts like a brief struggle where I don't even remember what happens at this point.
So he does it.
It kind of just peters out.
Yeah, there's not even a struggle. They just stand there waiting, and Dr. Ritter is like, no, it works. I swear it works, guys. It works, I swear. He's like just having like a little fit. And and they're like, we're turning you in, Dr. Ritter. And Dr. Ritter just gives up. And
he's so demoralized, Paul.
He just gives up.
His sure bet that it didn't work, that all power he had in the scene goes away, and he just runs for it.
He runs for it. They catch him, and they say, we're going to take you to the police. And he goes, no, you won't. I'll commit fish suicide first.
Yeah. I'm not owned, he yells. I'm not owned as he slowly turns into a fish.
It doesn't even play off of the fake out, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
There's not really anything gained because Billy's able to survive, like I thought they're going to do the dumbest thing where he's like, well, hold on, now I need to try it myself. And he does. He does my favorite thing of a Resident Evil villain of I'm cornered, so I'm going to inject the T virus into myself completely.
T-virus
You'll never take me alive.
Yes.
That sure happens. And then they're like, Billy, how'd you do it? How'd you stave off the fish virus?
And he goes, well, I'll recount now the chapter that RL decided to leave out, which was the only sequence of information that RL decided to leave out in this book.
Maybe for the better. I guess I was like surprised. Turns out that early on when Billy was talking about really wanting to prank back Sheena, he had gone down to the lab and had replaced one of the jars of plankton with iced tea, which I don't think looks that much like plankton, but I understand what he was doing. And that his prank was going to be at some point showing Sheena that he would drink it and gross her out
until she threw up.
That's not. She's like, that's not even a good prank at all. Or no, maybe someone.
She essentially says that.
Yeah, you would have gotten sick and gross and thrown up.
And she's like, I would not have. And then he's like, that's besides the point. This man is dead now.
Well, this man's a fish now, just living a fish life.
This man's a fish now. He can't get into heaven, and he can't pursue his dream of science. Is his mind a fish, or is his mind a man? Does he find fish sexually attractive?
I really wanted to know.
Important questions that we are left at the end of the Goosebumps line to ask.
I was kind of like, okay if it had just ended on the prank actually paid off. But then like RL's like, I gotta do more.
Well,
and RL has Sheena.
Yeah, he has to have the wink at the end of the book. You can't.
I guess he's gotta have the wink at the end. So Sheena starts laughing and going, I had that same idea for a prank, and I also replaced one of the jars of plankton with iced tea. And she goes and takes a big gulp and then goes, oh, maybe I picked the wrong one.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that's it.
Are we left to assume that is yet a prank on top of a prank, or that is the reality of things?
Well,
I guess we'll never know because there is no Deep Trouble 3.
Kevin, I hate to break it to you. In the Goosebumps 2000 series, there is a redux.
Yes.
There is a redux. We will be experiencing more Deep Trouble with the Deep Kids.
The what? I'm sorry?
They're the Deep children,
maybe it's with Billy D. Williams and his sister Sheena the fish. Maybe that's the thing.
The implications are massive right now.
We will find out.
I guess we can't cancel the podcast then.
No, just because of that. Just because of Deep Trouble 3.
Even though you guys did all the bumps, and I did some of the bumps.
You did some. I mean, you were there. You were there along for all of them, at least in spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah, I just want to congratulate you guys on bumping it so good.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, thanks, man. I want to congratulate you for bumping with us. And shout outs to our brother Dom, who's out. He's not, I was going to say he's like in heaven. He's not dead. Who's probably bumping to some cool EDM jams right now.
Dom, he drank the fish potion. He drank the fish plankton. Because Dom decided that life would be better as a fish, and he said, I don't want to go to stinking heaven anyway, and he drank that and went to fishy heaven and fishy hell.
Somewhere, Dom is bumping some EDM in a fish nightclub, and he just looks out to the full moon, and he's like, I feel like something started long ago has finally been completed.
They're done.
And he starts singing the song from Fievel.
Aww.
But dance remix.
But dance remix. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It's a Bassmaster remix.
I apologize. I did say that it was part of the 2000 series. It's actually a part of Goosebumps Horrorland. So we will not be...
Ooh.
Because I think the plan, right, is now... So listeners, you've been listening to us go through all of the original series. We finally finished the original series.
Took us 110 episodes.
Yes, 110 episodes.
Do 52 books somehow.
62. It was, there's a good amount.
62.
We did a lot of stuff along the way. I do want to say this. Deep Trouble was the last... I'm sorry, Haunted School was the last book to get a physical print. The Werewolf Skin, I Live in Your Basement, and Monster Blood 4, those were digital books. So, the Haunted School, the best book, is officially the last printed Goosebumps book.
Hey, that's cool.
I know. So my theory is Werewolf Skin, I Live in Your Basement, Monster Blood 4, they were sitting in a drawer somewhere. I think that RL went out on Haunted School. He was top of his game. We have read, and it's the next series that we're going to, which is Goosebumps Series 2000. We have read Cry the Cat, which we liked. We liked it.
Yeah. It was really good.
So Bride of the Living Dummy is the next in the order. I feel good about Bride of the Living Dummy, guys.
I mean, we could also do a poll, perhaps, on our Patreon, which you can subscribe to on patreon.com/Goosebuds.
That's true. We don't have to dive right into Goosebumps 2000. We could jump right to Horrorland. There's a couple other series. Let's see. We got Horrorland.
It's like Slappy World is one of them. Listen, the Goosebumps franchise has just kept working
It
out.
keeps going. We have 2000, Horrorland, Hall of Horrors, Most Wanted, and then Slappy World, I think, is the final series. Wow, it's still going on. There's two new books coming out in March and June.
Dude, RL is having, like, I think this is important to reflect on, because RL, hey, I know you listen to this podcast, and you always have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're having a hell of a year, man. You got the Fear Street movies, which we covered on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I saw there's like new like Goosebump comic books everywhere. There's a Just Beyond series or movie coming on like Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Like RL's empire, the shadow of his influence grows stronger.
It does.
And we're the resistance movement, trying to keep him in check. We're the scrappy resistance fighters watching the empire expand and being like, you can't keep getting away with this.
we keep him humble. We keep him humble.
One day there'll be a showdown between the two of us. The dark and the light.
The Goose and the Bumps.
And somehow we've made it back to the Dark Tower series at the end of this.
If you Kevin and Paul have already mentioned, but yes, once again, if you want to weigh in on what books we cover next, get access to our very cool Discord and bonus monthly episodes of Camp Goosebuds, where we just get real with y'all
in a fun way.
patreon.com/goose in a fun way yeah. patreon.com/goosebuds.
Yeah. We also have lovely shirts at goosebuds.store.
Mm-hmm.
There's a tank top version of our new Wrestle Boys shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool, that I'm modeling. If you want to see a pic of the gun show,
Kevin's rocking the guns.
Yeah. If you want to help launch my modeling career, then maybe buy yourself a shirt at goosebuds.store.
You can also follow us on Twitter at goosebudspod.
Mm-hmm.
You can email us at goosebuds@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Every time I had to think about it. Yeah.
You can also leave a review on iTunes. That helps our show a lot. And we've been meaning to read a bunch of our reviews for a while now, right, Chad?
Yeah. We need to get back into that. So if you've been thinking about firing up the old iTunes, probably don't use it nearly as much as you used to. Please leave a review.
Yeah, we're at a bit of a breathing point. I mean, if you've been here since episode 1, please, if you haven't left a review, you need to at this point. You've made it. You've reached.
If you have, if you have someone message us so we don't think we've lost everyone that started the podcast.
Yeah, I would love to know if there's one person who's been around.
At least one person that's made it all the way through.
I want to know how much churn there is on Goosebuds. Do people burn out on us that easily?
I like to think of this podcast as a crucible.
Forged in the fires of Stein.
Speaking of fires, let's put this one out. What do you say, boys?
Yeah, it's been a blast reading these Goosebump books, boys, with you. I toast to you.
Hey.
Here's to many more.
Here's to all the future buds.
To the buds, to the bumps, to the slaps. Slap. All right, high five for 10 minutes. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye. This episode of Goosebuds is brought to you by our lovely Patreon donors. We'd like to say thank you with a little segment we call The Book of Names.
The Book of Names.
And let's start with Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Hollis Hornbeak,
Cameron Murphy Audio,
Michael McDowell,
David Cron,
Josh Robertson,
Mickey C.,
Nathan Dolezal.
Clayton C.
Mike Lanteri,
Buddy Morrill.
Alicade.
Mel Dipson,
Jim Greaves.
Zankeith.
Afsheen,
Danky McStanky.
Dango Twists.
Brian Wells,
Zen Tickles.
Stealth Bates.
Joseph Miranda,
Low Belly Hate Me.
Patrick Reynolds.
Scott Colopy,
Robert Moon.
Jason Crooker.
John Keaty,
Clay Castle.
Miguel Pardo.
Christina Doling,
Third Sergio.
Calf.
Matthew More Paranoia Shop.
Oh, thank you.
Sniggy.
Sniggy, thank you for subbing to my Patreon.
Oh, Stiggy, thank you. Reinfected.
Maddie,
Eshak Arafin.
Gregory D. Warren.
Alan Saylor,
Sam Hash.
Cody Redfield.
Rich Hilborn,
Bradford Coulter.
Aiden Alexander Dace.
Jar Jar Slinks,
Justin Wagman.
Chosen One.
Card Boardwalk,
Leviathan.
Up and Champ.
Jonas Eggman,
Wait a second. It doesn't say Leviathan. It says Levithan.
Yeah. Or Levi Than.
I think
Yeah.
I've always said Leviathan.
I
yeah,
also have.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
yeah.
Hope you're leaving all this in, Kevin.
Please.
I better.
Please. Go on. I'm sorry.
Jonas Eggman,
Alicia Grafe.
Maloyster.
Carl,
Hey, Broccoli, pause for a second. I gotta get something off my chest. I think I love Paul. Nice.
Oh, it's like you self-love yourself.
Nice
That's
change.
good,
Yeah,
man.
that was a great change.
thank you, Broccoli, for also donating to my Patreon.
Hey, Broccoli. The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
Elusive Koala,
Yanni Markovina.
Jonas Blatterman.
Joe,
Brooke X.
Jesus Christ.
Christian Vanskiver,
Drew Applegate.
Jeremy Lowe.
Brian Hobgood,
Zach Connor.
Paul Grasso.
Trans Rights,
Patreon_donator, yo.
Joe Spooky Digital Ghost Tierney.
Taylor Dierks,
Joe, I'm not tired. I always look like this. Scott, I feel that one.
Damn, real. Tom Whittam.
Trendy Moron,
Nope, I'm not going to read the funny name attempt from Andrew Jadzik this time.
Lord Cord Wallace.
Elizabeth Steenweg,
Cardamom Birkenbino.
Murph EP.
Vincent Modica,
Luke Noodles.
Hugh Bolin.
Zam Bambino,
Tevin Ticklebean is your new best friend.
Aw. Goon Cahoots.
Sness Chalmers,
Sean Minogue.
Wormtown Glen.
Wiggle It,
John Pigeon Hat Barber.
Nathan Remick.
Divaldi,
Chip Handsome.
Matt McKellen.
Reed Stubbendeek,
Alex Moon, the robot dog.
Joey Evans.
Sarah Kemp,
Tanya Turtle.
Chili Dish Gambino.
Carewise Gamgee,
Brett.
Uncle Cool Brother.
Cameron Hansen,
Adam You Goofed.
Juan Jalapena.
General Lee Depressing,
Dom Sexy Ghost, aka Captain Sick.
Muscles Bear.
Yeah,
Ben Bohan.
Keith Halcrow.
Chris Haunted Pajama Boner Nelson,
Timothy Misodulakis.
Clay McCarty.
Matthew Stevens,
Parker Lee.
Dan.
Chris Pittman is a bone wizard,
Bass Gerritsen.
Hey, Eric. It's gonna be all right. You're doing a great job.
You are Eric.
love you, Eric,
Love you, bud.
Hambo,
That was a weird follow-up.
love you too, Hambo,
Love you, too. Hambo, you're great. Please stop sending slappy cum tributes to goosebumps@gmail.com. Please stop it.
God, it's in my head now. When dragons rule.
Raymond Hernandez,
I don't want to hold up. I don't want to gunk things up too much, but I really want someone to write a song called "When Dragons Rule" because it seems like it would be an awesome song.
Please.
yeah,
Flamily,
The Crow Fence.
Matthew Sutton,
Jonas N. Voldson,
Calamity Carl.
Patrick Murphy,
Germ Juice.
Jeffrey Owen Cahy. You are in so much trouble.
Ooh, full name:
Nick Johnson,
Lee Wood.
Kelsey Kinnaman.
clear as Stephen Day,
Beautiful. Russell Castberg.
Javier Jimenez.
Brendan Arafin,
Liam Neeson's Dell.
Chris Putricus.
Scottie Pippen,
Streak.
Meet Virginia.
Ryan Carroll.
Jeremy Bowser.
Dungeon Kappa.
Megan McCormick Mason.
MC Hamster.
Zach Weir.
Tamid Munir.
Ninja Breadman.
Hood Lemon.
Alan G. Jussum.
Tobias Clark.
Michael Kupka.
Julian Lemendia.
Adam Muth.
Got little old moi pretty fruits.
Brendan Neal.
Andre Villanueva.
Dr. Chocula.
Jimmy Soul.
Peanutberg, level 69.
Moon Juice.
Estamina, Lord of Paul's Pants.
You'll never get him! The Davy Boy.
Kenny M.
SSJ Trogdor.
Oh my god.
Is that a Super Saiyan Trogdor?
I didn't know Trogdor could become more powerful.
Super Social Justice Trogdor.
Dr. Diarrhea.
Kieran McNamara.
Diet Soda.
Quigley Jones.
Jackie Ledoux.
Great name.
Coleman Laguza.
Another one. Lamb.
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Redemption.
Levi Kidder.
David Gray.
Bryce Dieri.
Matthew Brettado.
Ian Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.
Nice one.
Chris.
Carb Son.
David Lynch, XXX, Brendan Fraser, 666.
Yes.
Dude, those are some powerful names and numbers you're throwing out there. You better be careful.
That's a powerful ship.
That used to be 311 in there, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I'm glad they found each other. Is it my turn?
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
Luke Humanzi Allen.
Some of Chad's bird friends.
Oh. Nicholas Maloney.
Wagmar Wigmere.
Dakota Kemp.
Midwest Indigo 13.
Eric Horwitz.
Tiffany Lee.
The Secret Provider.
Thomas Jansis.
Lucretia McEvil.
Ooh.
Elm Realm.
Ooh. These are some good names.
Yeah.
Mutant Astronaut.
Kiwio Flarb.
Beyond Deer. I think I nailed that one.
You
did.
You did. I would not have been able to read. I would have been like, BJ Arndire.
Your time in Valheim has served you well.
It truly has.
Yeah.
Serial Killer X.
Soggy Newspapers.
Alec Johnson.
Henry Torbert.
Hannah.
Or Henry Torbert. I don't know.
Who knows? Only Henry does.
Only Henry does.
Hannah Yeager Bush.
Kakenti.
The Skoteg.
The Adam Knapp.
Joe Melnick.
And welcome to these new Patreon patrons. Welcome, Benjamin Luther.
Logan Derby.
Welcome, Brad Schmelzer.
Welcome, Burger's Wonderful World Official.
Oh, man. I can't believe this isn't just the fan account.
And welcome, Edgar's Crachis? I don't know. We'll figure it out over time. You're stuck here forever, so we'll figure it out at some point.
Welcome, new patrons.
To the Book of Names.
We love you all. Thank you all so very, very much.
Thank you. We love you.
Love you guys. Bye.
We're going to etch your names
Bye.
in with our blood now. Bye-bye.